Hello and welcome to the Drip and Stone podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle Deary. You went full Mrs. Doubtfire
I
there.
did go full Doubtfire.
Nice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, throwback.
Yeah, man, what a great movie.
The whole time. It is a great movie.
It's a good. It holds up well. I think. Yeah.
I haven't seen it. But I take your word for it.
I did during like lockdown, so like that was like what, last week I think.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think it holds up. It holds up.
Yeah. It was all over London when I was there because it's
a musical
on
right?
the West End.
Yeah. I thought so. Shall we just get into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it.
We did the end of our Summer of Cocktails last summer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we wrapped it up.
We did.
What a great thing.
Oh God.
Tons of fun.
Tons of fun. Talked about the Olympics.
Yeah.
But did I say last summer? I think I said last summer. I meant last week.
I think you said last week.
Okay, maybe.
Last week we talked about summer. I don't know.
I don't know. It all runs together. But this week we're going to do a complete 180
Yeah, we are.
and drink some scotch.
Oh, buddy. And not just scotch. We're throwing some heavy hitters out there.
Yeah,
man.
we are.
We are exiting the summer of cocktails. No more of this like fruity la drinks, man. We're going back to the stuff that's going to put hair in places on our bodies that we don't currently have it.
There are places on your body with no hair?
Yeah, like
Stop. Family friendly ish.
Oh. Nah, all those places got hair. I don't think my elbows.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty.
But between my fingers, I don't think I have hair there.
Yeah,
okay.
like right in the middle of my palm.
Yeah,
I don't have any growing there
So,
yet. But we will after this episode.
Sure. What are we doing, Kyle?
Oh, by God. We are doing our first Octomore on the
my
podcast.
God. This was your first foray into Octomore ever, right?
Yeah, never had it at a bar. Just haven't been at a place that had it at a decent price that I was willing to, or it felt like a moment kind of a thing.
Agreed.
Like I needed it to be the right time, the right place kind of thing if I was ever going to get it at a bar, and just
Never happened that way.
never worked out.
Yeah. Well, that's the same. Like, I love that you brought up that point because we've both had situations where there's the opportunity to try things that we've always wanted to try, and it's just like the situation hasn't presented itself.
Right.
I had Octomore a couple of years ago. My sister and I were at a whiskey bar in Pensacola, which is in the northwestern part of Florida. And it was on the shelf, and I was kind of just like, oh, yeah, man, I'd really love to try that. But like, and she's like, okay, we're doing it. And I did it, and it was an experience. I think I remember telling you, like, it was an experience.
Yeah.
My palate has definitely grown and reshaped itself a lot since then.
Right.
So I'm really interested in getting into this.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let's open it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is the 14.1 edition.
Yeah.
Super heavily peated. 59.6%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slap in the face right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more cocktails for you, fine gentlemen.
We're going straight to Octomore.
Love the presentation.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Like, and this is this specific bottle is one of the ones in the black, full black bottle.
Yeah.
And I just love it. Like
do
I needed it to be that one. They've got the ones that are in like the kind of like
The frosted ones.
the frosted clear glass.
We actually, like, everybody run over to the Drip and Stone Insta socials. You'll see that there's a video that we posted with all of the Octomores.
Yeah, it's got the little envy character from Inside Out too.
Yeah.
I'll help you find it. And just look at that. Yeah, and it's got every bottle that they've had so far. It is a bit of a new foray.
Yeah, I would say within the last, I think it's 14 years. I think that's what the numbers are, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
I know that there's an Octomore aficionado out there that's, calling us out, and that's okay. But this is distilled by one of our favorite distilleries, Bruichladdich.
Bruichladdich.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, me too.
Here we go.
Do it. Ooh. Yeah. Holy crap. I can smell the peat from here. Wow.
Peated whiskey in the glass.
So Octomore became super popular with the 8.3.
Okay.
And the reason why is the 8.3 was, and to my knowledge, still is the most heavily peated Scotch ever created.
Whoa.
And so peat, with regard to like Scotches, is measured in parts per million.
Right.
So the first Octomore release was really heavily peated at 131 parts per million. Okay. To give you a sense.
That was 1.1?
That was 1.1 was 131 parts per million. Okay. And to give you a sense of that, for those of you who have never had an Octomore, a Laphroaig, which I would say is a pretty heavily peated Scotch, the average Laphroaig ppms is 55.
Crazy.
Yeah. So the first Octomore release was 131.
Right.
Now, obviously, amongst whiskey aficionados, people knew then about Octomore. They're like, oh, this is
Wow.
heavily peated.
A lot of peat.
But its name really came about with the 8.3.
Gotcha.
The 8.3 has the highest peating level to date of 309 parts per million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I don't know which Octomore I had. I don't know if it was the 8.3.
Sure.
But whoa.
Yeah.
Like, just wrap your brain around that one.
Yeah. That's a lot of peat.
Does the bottle here tell us the ppms of the 14.1?
128.9.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So still
A lot of peat.
a lot of peat.
Knowing that,
Uh-huh.
it does make you think, like, this is not going to be palatable. Like,
Correct.
Have that much peat, that much smoke in there. Like, it's just, you just think of, like, you think of, like, Laphroaig or Ardbeg, like these really meaty, peaty scotches.
Right.
And if they're already at, like, 50, to go double that, like, this is going to be non-enjoyable at all.
Correct. For me, when I first had it, that was my experience. Like, it was an experience. As
Right.
I said, like I was being nice. It was a lot, and it was. I think I used the term with you. It was unpalatable. It was
Yeah,
just
at
too
that
much.
point in time, like, you were off-put by it.
Oh, definitely.
Like, it was not you were happy to have had the experience.
Absolutely.
But
I would do the experience again in a heartbeat.
your take on it was like, it wasn't for me.
Yeah,
kind of a thing.
It was like, I think I equated it to like an IPA, like in that realm. Like, oh, you want to try the most IPA ever,
Right.
And then you get it, and you're like, whoa,
Okay.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
A quadruple whoa,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
Imperial stoutish.
Sure,
That's just too much.
summer beer.
But yeah.
All right, shall we?
Yeah.
On the nose?
Well, on the eyes, lovely color, a little golden hue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really, really pretty.
Do we have an age statement?
I don't think so.
Okay. And the reason why I asked, because like it's not clear by any means. It's
We do.
It's a lovely.
It's 5 years.
Oh, okay. It's got a little bit of straw color there.
Yeah, let me give you the bottle words here.
Please do.
This one is called the Impossible Equation.
Okay.
It is aged 5 years. It is aged in bourbon casks.
That makes sense.
Barley origin is Scottish mainland.
Okay.
Barley variety, the Concerto.
Uh-huh.
Limited edition release 2023.
Perfect.
Yeah.
On the nose.
What you got?
Honestly, not as much peat as I expected.
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, when we cracked this,
Yeah.
we were kind of surprised by that. So I was
Sure.
kind of wondering, like, would it have opened up a little bit more?
Yeah.
But, like, still kind of the same thing. Like, you get the peat as soon as you pour it.
Right. Well, when you poured it into that glass, I was like, okay, I
And it
smell
immediately
peat.
just like whiffed over to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely more not fruity.
I get a lot of malt.
Yeah,
That's what I
just
get.
more malty Scotch comes forward.
And actually, I get more of the alcohol note than I do, like just straight up ethanol, than I do peat, which I think is kind of unusual for something that's supposed to be this high
That
of peat.
peaty.
Wow.
Yeah, lovely malty
Yeah.
note.
You said fruity. Like, I do think that there's some bits of fruit in there. Like,
Yeah, I get lemon.
yeah. Like bright, fresh, citrusy. Yeah.
Yeah, like a yellow apple,
Sure.
green apple. There's some herbally stuff happening.
Oh, like a green tea kind of herbally?
Yeah,
That's what
maybe.
I get. Like a
Yeah.
little astringent. I'm attributing that to the peat.
Yeah, and then a lot of
Slight grassy note to me.
yeah, and just that alcohol twinge that like hits you right on the side of your
Oh, yeah.
eyeball.
What was it? 59.6?
59.6, basically 120, 119.2.
Yep.
Okay,
All right. Shall we?
we shall.
Holy
Yeah, that's a burn.
Hey, I found the peat.
Yeah, I like that the peat, peppery peat,
Holy man.
just is electrifying your tongue.
My tongue, my whole dang body, man. Like, whoa.
Oh yeah, you feel that sip go all the way down to you. Just go down there and blah, just go straight through. There's no intestines.
It's resting.
Just acid drop all the way down.
It's resting down there now.
Yeah.
Wow. That is formidable.
It is intense, but I wouldn't say off-putting.
No. And I was just about to say that. It's absolutely like, God, the spiciness, man.
Yeah,
It's
it is
intense.
It's peppery. It's peaty, it's smoky, and that high of a proof,
Yeah.
it does. It just like shocks
It
your
kicks.
tongue.
It
Your
kicks.
whole palate is just like
And it's
electrified.
the proof and the peat are like they're fighting one another in a great way.
Yeah.
But it is powerful.
Yeah. And then as the heartburn goes down
Mm.
and it starts to relax, you are left with this like beautiful malty note that just has enveloped your whole palate.
Yeah, to me, it's on the exhale. That's where I get like fruit salad, but like a fresh cut, like not fruit salad, but like a fruit bowl. Like a fresh cut fruit bowl. Like you've got all of these, a commingling of a bunch of different fruit notes that just, wow.
Yeah, it is a hell of a drink.
That is not for the faint of heart.
No, that's a kick in the teeth, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
it makes you hello.
hello. To be fair, I feel like there are a lot of high-priced bottles out there.
Yeah.
And this I would count among them.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the prices that I've seen it, what I would consider like your base level price. Like you're just a big box store and you happen to get some Octomore. You're not marking this up.
Right.
That's the right price.
Sure.
And to me, and I say that rarely because, you know, I would always rather things cheaper, but I feel like that's the price of someone who, like ourselves, we know what we're getting into. And you kind of like, I hate to say it this way, you have to earn that.
Sure.
You have to earn that price. It's a price point that's going to dissuade the majority of people from buying it. And I think that's right. Because most people who are going to get this are going to be like, my first experience, oh my God, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's too much. I mean, I don't disagree.
Does that make sense? And like, I know I rarely say that, and I know we rarely talk about price specifically, but I think that's right.
Yeah, I agree. I would pay for what I got this bottle at every time.
Yeah.
Like I'm not upset by it.
Sure.
And it is like, it's certainly an achievement bottle.
Yes.
It was definitely a bottle that like in my whiskey journey, I was not going to be satisfied until I had owned one.
Agreed.
It was just kind of that type of a thing, which like I feel like is like the appropriate, like, you know, there's so many whiskeys that are at that next 10 levels above where we are,
Right.
that are not made necessarily just for people that are whiskey drinkers. They're elitist bottles. They're 1% bottles.
Yeah.
That I don't know that I'd necessarily like. Yeah, sure. I'd love to try a black art.
And a lot of those bottles, though, it's the age. You know what I mean? Like most of those bottles that you're talking about are, you know, 27 years and up.
Yeah,
kind of things.
Yeah, those crazy things.
Yeah.
But even like a black art, like I don't know that the black arts have huge, do they?
Yeah.
Are they all huge age
they're,
statements?
They're like 23 and up, I think.
Even those like black art is essentially like the Octomore of the next level.
Sure.
And they're, you know, they're
It's just I don't think it's as peated. I think it's like
right.
Yeah.
But it's the curation of it.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
What they've made it, and it's
Yeah.
it's billed as Bruichladdich finest whiskeys.
Yeah.
You know.
And the price point of like a black art, and I'll just say the price point of black art is somewhere around that like $600 range.
Right.
Octomore's nowhere near that.
Yeah. No. You know, and then you get into those crazier ones that are like the 30-year-olds that are, you know, thousands of dollars.
Sure.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
so,
man, I saw some not that long ago.
Oh yeah. Again.
Yeah. Check out the social media.
Check out our social media. But in terms of where I'm at and what I'm looking to experience and hell afford in whiskey, like this is absolutely worth the value every time.
Yeah.
And I mean,
100%.
and I don't really know the perspective of Octomore in terms of like they have 3 releases a year. Each one is an uptick in price.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe it has a bit more age.
I think it's
on
a bit more age, yeah.
But it was a bottle that I desperately wanted to have at some point. Found it for the right price and did not hesitate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Went ahead and grabbed it.
Because we originally found this in Maine during our Maine trip.
Yes.
Took a picture of it, sent you a picture of it, and then
The price was right.
Yeah.
We were going to go get it, and like it was like 2 days later.
Yep.
And they'd already sold it.
That bottle is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, I had the 14.4 at the distillery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I guess there are more than, obviously, there are more than 3.
Interesting, yeah.
The 14.
I thought it was just 3 a year.
I thought so too. The 14.4 was 106 ppms. The bottle, I'm just looking at the bottle. It says it's a distillery exclusive. So maybe
maybe it is.
The 14.4.
Maybe the 4th is always only available at the distillery.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's cool.
I agree. I think it's one of those bottles that you got to earn it. Obviously money-wise, but I think also palate-wise as well. Because you're not going to give somebody who's like just please don't. Please
Yeah.
do not give this to someone who's starting out. They're going to absolutely freaking hate it.
Yeah, no, totally agree. You could budget yourself and you know,
Yeah.
go and get this.
I mean,
bottle.
I know we said last week we got that NBC money coming in, but we're not buying 9,000 pound bottles of whiskey. It's just not going to happen for us. So there you go.
There you go.
But I do have a little bit of something.
What's that?
It's not a 9,000 pound bottle, but it is something that I know you've never had.
Correct.
This is a bunch of firsts.
Yeah.
I picked this bottle up at the Ardbeg Distillery.
Ooh.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to be talking about some of our travels. I visited Ardbeg, and I picked this little bottle up.
What you got?
I got the Ardbeg Hypernova.
Hypernova.
So the Hypernova is, as of this recording, Ardbeg's peatiest Scotch.
Right. And I bet that's one of those ones, like, I bet the price tag on that one's in that $400 or $500 range.
I think it was $3.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, but what I saw was $3. I did not buy a full bottle of it. I bought a little taster pour, if you will.
Yeah.
This is peated to a massive 170 parts per million.
Wow.
But it is a non-age statement.
Wow.
Yeah.
But still, 170.
170.
Holy moly.
And I know our affinity for Ardbeg, and I picked this up, and I was like, I've already tried this.
Gotta do
so
it.
I had this at the distillery.
Okay.
I picked this up for you specifically because I knew you'd not had this.
What a guy.
When I picked it up, I'm like, this is going to pair awesome with Octomore.
Yeah.
So you want to do it?
Yeah.
Okay,
hell
let's
yeah.
do it.
So far from my experience, Bruichladdich stays a little tighter.
Yes.
Ardbeg loves to kind of expand palate and
Ardbeg loves
experience.
Ardbeg loves playing with things, and they love like their marketing. That's why their marketing is all what it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
They love. All right, you ready for the Hypernova?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so take a look at that in the glass.
Yeah, it is. It is clear. Ain't much color there.
No, it isn't a non-age statement, so we're not exactly sure of its age. It is aged in American white oak bourbon barrels, but it's not aged for very long. What did you find?
Best guess I could see was 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to be at least 3 years regardless to be Scotch, but so
it's pretty young.
Pretty young.
On the nose?
Oh, man. Like that reminds me of the Coy Reckon.
Yeah, it really does.
I don't know if I'm just...
No, I think you're right.
It's the salty, the briny.
Salty, briny, but
meaty.
also like icing, like cake icing. In the same like buttercream sweetness.
Yeah. Oysters, oyster shell.
But it's also not super strong on the peat on the nose. I mean, it's definitely there. I think it's more there than the Octomore.
It's that same thing of like,
but we've already had a
first whiff of it.
Exactly.
It was there, but now that I'm kind of accustomed to it, now it's like hard to find it. But yeah, no, it very much reminds me of Coy Reckon.
Yeah. All right. Enough sniffing. Time for sipping.
Okay.
We haven't said that in a while.
That's been a minute.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Sipping's not what you do with a cocktail.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Man, that's delicious.
Yeah. So I had this in a tasting.
Yeah.
Okay. And I did one of their upper level tastings.
Right.
And the girl, when she
at
poured,
Ardbeg.
Yeah. Yeah, at Ardbeg. When the woman was leading me through the tasting, or when she was pouring everything for me, she's like, this one, drink it last. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, because you won't be able to taste anything else if you drink this first.
Right.
She's like, that's my only warning.
Hold it.
Right. And I completely agree. Like, it's peaty. It's definitely peaty. But like, there's some really lovely, just like fruity, malty notes that stick out. Like, fantastic.
Yeah, it's dry.
Yes.
The aftertaste is very drying and woody.
Yeah.
Like a lot of barrel comes through on the back end.
Definitely.
But man, just so much like burnt smoke and just charred wood on your palate on the finish.
Yeah.
That's just feels like fall.
Yeah, it really does. It reminds me
sitting
of
around
like
a campfire.
like a steak cooked over an open flame campfire specifically. Not like
gristle.
Yeah. Like this is a high heat flame and we're gonna like toast this thing.
Yeah, we're gonna scorch the outside.
Oh yeah. Inside's gonna be rare.
No cooked.
Right. But the outside's gonna be barky.
What's the ABV on this one?
This one is 51. So it comes in at 102.
Oh, okay, 102.
So it's a little bit less. Well, no, it's a lot bit less actually proof than the Octomore.
Yeah, but like it impressively enough, like no drop in flavor.
No, it's still
Flavor
punchy.
stays right
It's
there.
still punchy.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do a one over the other because I think they're just so dramatically different. I mean, I could say like, which would I rather have a pour of? If I were given a second pour, I think I'd rather have a second pour of the Octomore. I think there's a little bit more well-rounded nature, whereas like the Ardbeg is like...
It's situational again for me.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Like there's a time and place. Like to me, I think Octomore is more pre-dinner.
Oh, okay.
And I think the Hypernova might be a little bit more after dinner.
Okay. See, I could say the exact opposite. Like Hypernova, get your senses going.
Right.
Octomore is a little more well-rounded, like ease into the night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, fantastic pours though. Again, not for the faint of heart, but I can recommend both if you're ready for it. If you're strong enough, says Tommy Lee Jones.
Man, going back to the Octomore after the Hypernova definitely like overtakes the peat on the Octomore. The Octomore becomes very desserty now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It is very creme brulee.
Yeah.
Like toasted sugars.
Caramelized. Yeah,
A lot
definitely.
of vanilla. Like that's bizarre. Man, I love that kind of shit. How what you're experiencing here is saying something now,
Yeah.
and then you do something else. You try another thing that has a different palate to it, and you go back, and now it's completely altered this.
Exactly.
And you're able to find different things. Like that is so much fun.
And that's again, I mean, we've said it ad nauseum.
I wish I'd been able to try the Hypernova by itself.
First,
you know,
yeah.
what did it have without the Octomore already on my palate?
That's a case for pairings. Like,
Yeah.
just do that because like you're gonna find interesting things.
Freaking delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just incredible. Good grab.
Thanks.
Thanks, dude.
I had to go
Like,
back for that
I'm
one
so
too.
glad. Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that home. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
me too.
incredible.
Well, I was there and I was like, hey, I can take this to go, right? They're like, absolutely. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. That especially a lot of places that you went to where you were able to
Yeah.
get samplings of things and take them out.
Exactly. And we might talk about this a little bit more next week when we do travel, but they are, I've done the Bourbon Trail and I know we'll probably do that at some point,
Right.
but they are far less precious with their top, if you will, top shelf
Echelon,
stuff.
yeah.
They don't care. You know, at least my perspective of everywhere I went in Scotland, it was like, you want the 45-year so-and-so? Here you go. You're going to pay for it, but here you go.
Right.
There's no like, oh, no. There's no like real
we're saving
yeah,
that.
Yeah. There's no gatekeeping.
Right.
It's like, here you go.
Right.
The only gate is, are you willing to pay for it? And that was what was cool about Ardbeg in this instance too, was like, here's a 25, I think that was a 25 mil pour,
Right.
which is kind of a standard dram in Scotland. And I don't remember how much it was, but it was not crazy expensive. And here you go. And brought it home so we could try it.
Boom.
Now we've got a great pour.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about this week?
You know, we wrapped up our summer travels
We have
that we planned out really well so that we didn't see each other for like 5 weeks.
This is the first time we've recorded in person
Yeah.
since like early June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I came over to your house for the couple of days that you were here beforehand, but we didn't record anything. We're just getting together, having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time we've done the thing.
Yeah. It
Together.
feels right.
Indeed, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I did get back, it was right as a huge summer thing was happening, which is the quintessential summer blockbuster.
Then this year's summer blockbuster.
Luckily enough, the day that I was going to go see it, you were free.
Yeah.
And so we went and saw it together. What did we see?
Twisters.
We went and saw Twisters.
No, we didn't go see Twisters.
But we need to.
Yeah, we do.
No, we went and saw
Deadpool and
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I was impressed.
Yeah.
More so than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
So okay, and here's why. It's well documented at this point. I've got Marvel fatigue to like I kind of just don't care
Yeah,
anymore.
you've not been a
No.
fan of the multiverse saga.
No, once like I really loved WandaVision. I really love WandaVision.
Right.
I've loved the majority of those kind of post Endgame things.
Right.
I was all over Infinity War and Endgame. Like I love that storyline.
Yeah.
Post that storyline, I've been disappointed after disappointed.
I mean, I don't think you're alone.
So much so, I know I'm not alone. Deadpool and Wolverine showed me that.
Yeah.
But so much so that like there's been movies I still have yet to see because I'm like I don't care.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's like been a bit of the misfortune of this saga is there hasn't been that same interconnectedness where it felt like I'm going to be rewarded by watching this movie. I'm going to be given a little bit of a nugget that connects everything and gives me another piece of the puzzle of where we're headed that the Infinity Saga did so well.
Right. Well,
so that it doesn't feel like you need to go see everything.
And I'm also, if I'm completely honest, like as much as I love the Loki series, I'm not fully bought into multiple timelines because I know from a narrative standpoint that multiple timelines generally creates more confusion for people.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're trying to follow so many different threads. Like one large narrative thread is difficult enough as it is. Like think about the Infinity Saga. That's difficult enough to like, okay, so who's where and who's doing what.
Right.
But then you add multiple timelines onto that. And like, so I'm already concerned.
Sure.
So that's what I went into this movie going like, okay, I like Ryan Reynolds. I want to see it.
Right.
And even to the point of my wife goes like, when you said, hey, let's go see it. My wife was like, you're going to go see that? Yeah. I'm going to go see it. Like, first of all, I don't have anything better to do. And yeah, I'm going to go see it. And within the first 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, this is it. Yeah, I'm good.
I think what this movie does so well, and it's what the character of Deadpool allows you to do is not take it so seriously.
Absolutely.
There's so many jokes and so many like self-deprecating jokes within the story of like he's not afraid to make fun of Disney.
Right.
He's not afraid to make fun of Marvel, and it's what that character can do that no other character can.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense. But
exactly.
Like Deadpool, because he can talk to the audience and make those jokes within the movie, it totally makes sense, and it's the right movie for right now.
Agreed completely.
There's a joke in the movie about he's welcoming Wolverine into the MCU. I'm sorry you're joining at a bit of a low point.
Right.
But, and he can make those kind of jokes, and it's absolutely what the MCU needs right now.
Exactly.
And I think the studio recognized it, and that's why they're only releasing this movie this year.
Yeah.
Is so that they can kind of corral their staff and let's refocus where we need to refocus and try to, get this back on a upward track. But yeah, this movie, like that was their task.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job at it.
And I agree completely. And it's the self-awareness, the self-referentialism, the self-deprecation you mentioned. And it's also that like Disney as a company was willing to let Reynolds, who wrote part of it, who obviously had a huge creative aspect, and everyone who was involved, do the thing and not put a cap on it, with one exception. And they made fun of that exception 5 times in the movie to the point of like, then it became the thing.
Right.
And that was like, I guess Deadpool makes a comment at some point that Bob Iger said, no cocaine.
Yeah, the one thing we can't do
is we can't
reference cocaine.
Or we can't do cocaine, I think.
Right.
And like, then they made that such
joke at it.
Yeah, they made it such
time.
a joke. Yeah, you can't do that. Whoa. Colombian marching pound. No.
Stop.
Things like that. And like that to me, if you were to strip that back, it would mute the character, first of all, and it wouldn't be as impactful in terms of the like, oh yeah, Disney is also not above being made fun of.
Sure.
And in this way is willing to not take itself so seriously.
Right. But at the same time, it's like, and it's such a great reminder to the audience too of, hey, this is still like,
this is supposed to be fun.
Well, it's supposed to be fun, but it's also like, don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
Like it's meant to be a good time. And if it's to the point where you're not enjoying it, like maybe you're taking it a little too serious, which is absolutely like a dose of what we need right now.
100%.
Of, yeah, like it doesn't all need to be perfect. Just kind of enjoy
like the movie,
the thing.
Yeah. Pop your popcorn, watch the movie, and you're gonna. It's fine.
Yeah,
it doesn't. And I think that what you just said is 100% correct. And maybe even in myself, like I'm looking for all of these threads to connect.
Right.
And what this movie does is like, who cares?
Yeah, we're like, whoa. Calm down.
Fine.
Yeah, like here's Blade.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Exactly.
Just enjoy it.
Exactly.
Don't worry about how did he get here? Like, at what point in time did he get pruned? Like, you didn't show me getting
Who cares?
pruned. Like, I need to see
Electra's
Blade.
here? Oh.
How was she? How was Daredevil not here?
Yeah.
Like, if she's here, Daredevil's got to be.
Right.
Where's Ben Affleck? Chill out. Just have fun with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the right movie at the right time, and like I think they got so lucky that it worked out that way with the writer's strike and everything with the purchasing and COVID and all of this stuff that it was able to come out now.
Right.
Because the timing on it couldn't be better.
Well, and I think what it does is it also establishes a different tenor going forward. And that's what they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Is that, yes, you've got these multiple timelines, but we can mess around with that all we want. You've got the possibility of a shit ton of different characters. We can mess around with that all we want.
Right.
But ultimately, these are supposed to be fun popcorn movies.
Yeah.
And that's what they're supposed to be.
Right.
And here you go.
Yeah, I loved like at some point in time in the movie, there's the joke made about we're doing this multiverse thing and you're trying, but like Wizard of Oz did it best.
You're right.
And you'll never beat that.
Right.
And it is kind of true of like the I guess the original or like the first time you experience a thing, like it's so hard to like top that because you over convoluted.
Right.
I loved that joke. And it was just, like, I mean, it is like you might be trying to like overcomplicate the story.
Sure.
I guess at this point in time, we're kind of adjusted to, or I guess maybe we're still trying to adjust to the concept of the multiverse things.
I think we definitely are.
As a whole, as a big group, I think that is kind of a hard thing to really grasp and take hold of. And it'll be interesting to see if Marvel can continue on with it, because like they're with the future slate that they have coming, it's not getting easier. It's not getting simplified.
Right.
They're the Fantastic Four movie is going to be yet again in another universe,
right,
and introduce characters that are different to the characters that we currently know. And
I think like what this does well is it tells us, as we've already said, don't take this too seriously, but also all of these things coming down the pike, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Does that
it won't have 118 F-bombs in it,
right? Well, and that's my next point.
But hey, just have fun with it.
This is not everyone's movie.
No,
by any means.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not everyone's
movie. Well,
movie.
you've seen that controversy of those people who were like, we went to see Deadpool and Wolverine and we walked out in the first half hour. It's like, and why'd you do that? Oh, because it's Deadpool and Wolverine. Like there's a lot of controversy. I don't want to say controversy. There's a lot of people talking about it, but it's like, did you not read what this movie is?
I'm a little surprised by Disney's approach.
What do you mean?
Briefly, I remember going to see the very first Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I think going into that movie, everybody knew it's a hard R.
Yeah.
It's a hard R Marvel movie.
Right.
And this is coming out at that point in time. It would have been right in the middle of the Infinity Saga.
Right.
And it was shocking.
Yeah.
And it was very successful. Like, it made a bunch of money. But like I remember going into that movie, and me and the buddy that I was with, we sat down, we had our seats, and then everybody else is kind of filling into the theater. And I remember literally right next to me, about a 5 or 6 year old girl sat down beside me. And I looked over to my friend and I was like, dude, we got to move. I was like, I can't, like, I'm already aware. I know what this movie's going to be. I don't want to be sitting next to a child during this movie.
Yeah.
It's going to, and I had kids at the time, and I certainly would not have brought my kids to this movie.
Right.
I was like, we got to move. And so we did. Like, we got up and we went and sat somewhere else in the theater. It was that long ago where you didn't have like assigned seats.
Right.
We didn't pick our seats. We could just go sit wherever we wanted to. But it was that kind of thing. So with this movie coming out, surely you've seen it, but like they've got Deadpool at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You can see Deadpool at Avengers Campus in Disneyland. And so like just knowing that this movie is what it is, and would I say it's as quote unquote raunchy as previous Deadpool movies? I don't think it is.
Okay.
It's more violent.
It's
more of a violent R,
and
they say fuck 118 times
in
the movie. And you're seeing now Wolverine do that.
Yeah.
You're seeing Hugh Jackman, which granted, I recently rewatched Logan.
Yeah.
And it is a hard R also, not sexually. It's very similar that it's a hard R because of language and violence.
Right.
But Deadpool and like bringing that in, you're bringing in all of it.
Right.
It's not just that. So I am surprised that Disney's so embracing of it. Granted, I understand that it's money
making machine.
Like
man.
I haven't seen numbers yet. I haven't. I've seen numbers for Inside Out 2 and how that's now the biggest animated movie ever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these numbers
So,
yet.
Deadpool, the last thing I read, Deadpool and Wolverine is the highest grossing R-rated film of all time.
Sure.
Because like R-rated films generally don't do well.
Right.
Like in terms of box office. They always do well afterwards because, kids are going to watch what they want
Right.
at home anyway.
So, I mean,
And I'm not surprised.
But I am surprised that Disney's like, yeah, no, come into our family-based theme park.
Sure.
And you can meet Deadpool.
Yeah. And people want
That's
to.
surprising to me. Like, I always kind of thought that, like, when Disney bought Fox and all of this stuff was going to come on to Disney Plus, like, I kind of get it there because you're still at home and it's still your decision.
You can just, right.
You can curate that to your family however you want to do it. But to have Deadpool in your theme park, it seems to give a stamp of approval to me.
Right.
Of like, this is safe.
Well, I don't know.
Certainly,
I don't
like,
know if it's that. I don't
this
know if it's that.
experience here is safe. But now, did your kid that met Deadpool in the theme park now go home and like, hey, that was great. Can I watch the movie now? No, don't.
And I think that's ultimately the approach of Disney right now is, we're putting the things out. You have to make the decision of whether or not you want to watch it.
I mean, I understand that, but I said to me, Disney has another IP that they bought.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
Sure.
That they are refusing, from what I've seen,
absolutely,
to let that IP age with its audience.
Absolutely.
And so to be so
because
willing to
you could very easily make a super hard R Star Wars movie.
Not even hard R. Just let it be PG-17. like let it have a little bit. Like and it doesn't have to be the movies. Like it could be a series.
Right.
Let this one series. Like it's surprising to me. Like did you watch The Acolyte?
I've started. I have not finished it. No.
Like The Acolyte, it's just more the same. I mean, it does start to be a little bit like kind of what's the realm of like the Twilight series, young adults,
YA kind of
angsty, kind of like little bit of sexualization. It starts to get into that. Like there's one episode, I think it's episode 5. That everybody's like, it's the thirst trap episode.
Yeah.
So it's starting to a little bit, but like not like.
I wonder if that's but this is still Star Wars. Like there's a sacred element in a way here.
Well, and that's an interesting thing too, because Walt Disney himself was very much like, no, we are a family-based company.
Sure.
Like you're not allowed to sell alcohol in the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
But they've found workarounds on that also. It's an interesting thing, and I think Star Wars is very similar, where like George Lucas always saw it as everybody can watch this.
Right.
You can bring anybody into this and it'll be okay. And it's such a hard thing. And I think that's the frustration that Star Wars fans have, is that you're not allowing any part of this IP to grow with the audience.
And I think the argument is, does an individual have to watch Deadpool and Wolverine to understand a story going forward? I don't think so. I think like it adds obviously to the story, but what you're saying is something like, could Andor have been more violent or something like that? Absolutely. Make that thing almost stand alone, make that thing even more violent, or do the thing like, this is Star Wars for adults.
Sure.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like all the sex and all that kind of stuff, but here's Star Wars for adults.
Right.
And then you still have the other stuff. And like, as the adult, you can watch that thing and like, yes, you have more knowledge and understanding, but it doesn't detract from the
main plot.
Right.
The main takeaway.
Exactly. It's not as precious.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this film does well too. And Deadpool as a character and the previous films as well, it's like don't take this too seriously. This isn't as precious as you think it is. Here you go.
Yeah. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just meant to be fun. It's just meant to have a good time. And I mean, dang. Like if you're a fan of like those old X-Men movies and just like the history that has been the Fox Marvel universe, like, man, they do it.
I think we've
really
done a pretty good job of not spoiling anything, even though I know most of our listeners have already gone and seen this. But there's one thing I have to kind of spoil.
Yeah.
And it is the one moment I was like, fuck yes. And that is when Hugh Jackman pulls the Wolverine mask of the 1990s, the cowl. He pulls it down, and like Deadpool looks at him. I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever happens from here on out, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because that's the moment I wanted.
Yeah.
It's the Avengers Assemble moment.
Yeah. And I didn't see it coming.
Oh, no?
I was genuinely like in the seat.
Yeah.
Hadn't even thought about it. Of like, when does he put it on? And obviously, in that moment, that's when he puts it on. But man, what a great moment
when he steps out in that blue and yellow
you're right.
suit.
Well, he's got it on the whole.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like when you first see
cowl.
that, and I'm like, at some point, he's got to put the cowl on. He's got to put the mask and headpiece on.
I suck at movies that way. Of like, I get too drawn in, and I forget my other thoughts. So like the whole time I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just like enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
So when he like puts his arms up and then I realize what he's like, oh God, he's doing the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The woman that was sitting next to me is like, and I was like, samesies.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. So good. Yeah. That literally was it, man.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. Like obviously with a warning.
Yeah.
But like I highly recommend it for someone who not only you like the character, but if you're experiencing Marvel fatigue as much as I have lately, this is going to quell that. This is going to renew some faith. This is going to me anyway, for me, I can only speak for myself. For me, it's like, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I would say like this is the exception. This movie, you can watch this movie without any expectations of like,
absolutely,
how are you moving the whole narrative forward?
Yep.
How are you making this next big move?
Yeah.
I think it does those things.
It does.
But you don't need to go in with that kind of
of
expectation of like, no, this is just like, this is just fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it was great.
On that note.
You
got anything else?
I don't.
I mean, I know that you and I could talk about this for the next half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And by half an hour, I mean the next 3 hours.
Johnny Storm.
We can't talk about it.
He's back. Yeah. Nice.
So good.
I got nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. Well, then, we want to know, what do you think about the Bruichladdich Octomore?
Yeah. Like, which expression did you have that knocked your socks off?
Yeah. And if I can make a quick recommendation, if you are at an establishment that has a pour of this and it seems like a reasonable price and you're in that perspective, do it.
Yeah, give it a shot because it's
an experience.
I mean, it'll test your boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think about the Ardbeg Hypernova?
Yeah. And if you've got another pour of that you want to send our way, let us know. Let us know.
And finally, we also love to know, what did you think about Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah. Did it kind of renew your faith in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Or is it just kind of more fluff that you didn't really care for?
You can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
On social media, it's always one word, Drep and Stone, DREP and Stone. Find us wherever you like to socialize media. We're probably socializing some there also. Reach out, like a post, let us know. We'll send you some more of that privatized content.
And we'd also love it if you support the podcast. You can do so through our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/drepandstone. You can tell someone about the podcast.
Yeah, just let them know.
And you can get yourself something a little special on flaviar.com. Use the promo code DSP10, and that'll help out the podcast as well.
Can't recommend it higher, Lee. More.
There it is. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Let's fucking go. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.